You ever feel like the world's throwing so much information at you? It's less a wave and more a fire hose pointed directly at your eyeballs.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
Like you desperately need someone to just sift through it all. Tell you what's actually interesting.
Exactly.
Well, consider us your highly caffeinated information Sherpas. Welcome to the Eureka podcast.
And today, we're venturing into, well, a truly fascinating ecosystem.
Yeah.
The lives of modern ESL teenagers in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We've got this really compelling collection of research, observations, paints a surprisingly vivid picture, actually.
Totally. We're talking about a generation kind of walking this tightrope, between the legendary academic pressure cooker of Hong Kong and then this dazzling explosion of global pop culture.
Yeah.
Just imagine cramming for exams that could determine your entire future.
Right.
Then immediately diving headfirst into the latest K-pop music video.
It's a truly unique collision of worlds, and our mission today really is to understand what makes these young people tick.
Yeah. Get under the surface.
Exactly. Go beyond that surface and explore their anxieties, their, digital lives, the passions that fuel them.
We're essentially playing detective with this data, looking at the slang they've cooked up, their borderline obsessive devotion to certain pop stars.
Oh, yeah.
And the quirky ways they try to figure out who they even are using things like online personality quizzes. Honestly, some of this stuff is genuinely eye-opening.
Prepare for a few unexpected turns, I'd say. This isn't just a story of stressed-out students with their noses buried in textbooks.
No.
There's a whole intricate world of teenage life unfolding here.
So settle in. We're about to plunge into what I like to think of as a weird but utterly fascinating mystery. Cracking the code of the ESL teens of modern Hong Kong. Okay, let's unpack the first layer. Right off the bat, what hits you like a ton of textbooks is the sheer weight of academic expectation on these teenagers. The sources just scream intense pressure.
Absolutely. The research consistently shows that a significant majority experience, like very high levels of back-to-school stress. We're talking incredibly long school days, packed with classes, tutorial sessions, then mountains of homework afterwards. The pressure, it comes from family, school, society. Everywhere.
No kidding. And the research even touches on some really concerning consequences of this stress, doesn't it? With a notable number having considered self-harm.
It does, yeah. That really brings the stakes into sharp focus.
Definitely.
And right at the center of this academic pressure cooker is the Hong Kong Diploma of Secondary Education exam, the HKDSE.
Ah, the DSE.
Specifically, yeah, the English language paper.
Yes, the infamous English paper. It's not just another subject, is it? Sounds like it can be a real make or break moment, for university especially.
Precisely. For getting into local universities, a certain level in both English and Chinese is generally mandatory.
Right.
Failing that English exam, that can significantly derail their future academic paths. The anxiety around the results is palpable. You can feel it even among educators.
Wow. It's almost hard to fathom that level of importance writing on a single exam. And it's interesting considering English is an official language there, but maybe not the one most people use day to day.
That's a critical point.
Yeah.
While a lot of people have some English proficiency, only a really small percentage use it as their main language.
Ah.
So for many of these teens, English is largely confined to the classroom, to exams.
Yeah.
Which can create this gap, between learning it for a test and actually using it.
Right, for real-world communication. So their motivation to learn English is often really tied to these high-stakes exams, future opportunities, maybe studying abroad, working for international companies.
Spot on.
Yeah.
It's very goal-oriented motivation, less about casual chat, more about future prospects.
Yeah.
Their aims range from, nailing the HKDSE score to wanting better spoken fluency for travel, or even just understanding their favorite K-pop lyrics or YouTubers. Yeah, there's that example of the 17-year-olds aiming for a top score, but lacking confidence in actually speaking. It perfectly illustrates this tension between the exam system and wanting practical skills.
Okay, shifting gears a bit now, because it's clearly not all hitting the books and stressing over tests.
Right. Definitely not.
I mean, these are still teenagers navigating all the ups and downs of social life. What's the buzz in their world outside of school?
Oh, their social world is incredibly dynamic and deeply, deeply intertwined with pop culture. The constantly evolving fashion trends, the latest must-try foods, and this vibrant, ever-changing landscape of slang.
Right.
That image of a neon mural in Mongkok showing current youth slang It really captures the scene.
Fashion seems like a major element. I'm picturing just seas of trendy streetwear, K-pop idols, social media influencers. They're setting the agenda, aren't they?
Absolutely. Korean and Western streetwear trends are huge. They're drawing inspiration from K-pop stars like Jennie from BLACKPINK
Of course.
and sharing style ideas on platforms like Xiaohongshu. That popular social media and e-commerce platform.
Right, the lifestyle one.
Yeah. And given they're in school uniforms all week, weekends are really about expressing their individuality. Carefully curated outfits for hitting the malls, snapping those IG-worthy photos.
Naturally. And food. Hong Kong already has such an amazing food scene, and it sounds like these teens are all over the latest trends. Bubble tea one minute.
Korean fried chicken the next. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a social media-fueled gastronomic adventure.
Totally.
Platforms like Xiaohongshu and Instagram are key drivers for these food fads. It's all about what tastes good, what looks good on camera, and what everyone else is trying. Even their slang gets food involved, like sweeping the street for going out for street food. It's a shared thing, central to their social lives.
Now, the slang. This sounds genuinely fascinating, like a real melting pot of Cantonese and English that's constantly evolving.
It is.
Like they're creating their own secret language.
That's a great way to put it. It's this vibrant hybrid. And the research suggests it's a really powerful tool for social connection, expressing their unique identity.
How so?
Well, they're seamlessly blending Cantonese terms like su for something hilarious with English abbreviations, localized English words.
Yeah.
It really fosters this strong sense of in-group belonging.
So if you're in the know about the latest slang, you're like in the inner circle. It's a linguistic handshake.
Exactly.
And beyond the trends, I mean, it sounds like the classic teenage dramas, who's dating whom, complaining about strict teachers, that's still very much happening.
Oh, absolutely. Timeless teenage experiences, right? Whispering about crushes, venting about demanding teachers, laughing about classroom mishaps.
Yeah.
Social media just amplifies it all. Instagram becomes this stage for low-stakes drama. And local forums like LIHKG buzz with school gossip.
LIHKG, right, the Hong Kong Forum.
Known for candid discussions.
Despite all the online stuff, it's reassuring to hear that face-to-face still matters, like lunch in the canteen, the commute home on the MTR.
Exactly. Those everyday moments are where a lot of the bonding happens. They're still doing the classic kid stuff, making silly videos, using goofy filters, playfully teasing each other. Yeah. Their online lives are really just an extension of their offline selves and communities, being class WhatsApp groups, filled with homework questions and memes, or Discord chats for studying and gaming.
Okay, so we've got stressed students, active social lives fueled by fashion, food, this unique language blend. But what about when they actually have downtime? What are they watching, listening to, totally obsessing over?
Well, their pop culture consumption is a really interesting mix. Global, local influences. YouTube is huge.
Okay.
Local Cantonese creators like Emmy Wong, she does fitness stuff. And
right.
Jason Big J, known for gaming, Japanese culture.
Oh.
They're incredibly popular.
Why them specifically, do you think?
They resonate because they often blend languages, cover topics that are culturally relevant. It mirrors their own world.
Makes sense. Emmy Wong for fitness, Jason for gaming and anime. And then there's the K-pop phenomenon. It sounds absolutely massive.
Massive is almost an understatement, honestly. The Korean wave has completely taken Hong Kong youth by storm.
Right.
Groups like BTS, BLACKPINK.
Yeah.
They're practically deities. Their influence permeates everything. Music, fashion.
Yeah, everything.
There's a shared passion that cuts across a lot of other social lines. You'll see them learning complex fan chants, passionately declaring their favorite member, their bias,
right.
Attending concerts with just incredible energy.
It's amazing how deeply K-pop has embedded itself, not just there, but globally. And it's not just K-pop, right? Western pop, maybe even local cantopop.
Exactly. International stars like Taylor Swift have huge followings. And local cantopop bands like Mirror are significant too. It's a diverse musical landscape, often driven by what's trending on YouTube and TikTok.
And visual stuff, anime, streaming shows.
Key players, absolutely. Anime series like Demon Slayer, Spy X Family, huge fan bases. Their movies often break box office records there. Right. They're constantly swapping recommendations, deeply invested in the stories, the characters, and streaming platforms. Yeah, Netflix is hugely popular. Global hits like Stranger Things, Korean dramas. They create these shared viewing experiences. And lots of meme material, of course.
Of course. So from local YouTubers to global streaming giants, sounds like they're plugged into this truly interconnected world of entertainment, often finding stuff through social media.
Precisely. Instagram, Xiaohongshu, they're crucial discovery engines. Music, shows, trends, even niche fandoms find their communities on Discord and Reddit.
It's just a constant stream.
It is. And it's important to remember, for these teens, pop culture isn't just killing time. It's often a vital way to de-stress after those incredibly long study days.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It's clear they're juggling a huge academic pressure, complex social dynamics, this constant barrage of global pop culture. How are they, like, making sense of it all, figuring out who they are amidst everything?
Interestingly, many are turning to tools like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, and even astrology as frameworks, for understanding themselves and others. It's become really popular.
The MBTI, it seems to be having a real moment globally, doesn't it? And it's so prevalent there. Are they actually using these types in, like, everyday conversations?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You might overhear a teen describing a classmate as, say, an ESTJ, or explaining their own quirks by referencing their INFP type.
Really?
Yeah. It's become this kind of shorthand for personality, a quick way to signal key aspects of themselves. The trend likely came from South Korea, amplified by all the online quizzes and memes.
So it gives them a shared vocabulary, maybe, to discuss their inner lives, which for ESL students might even be easier in English using that MBTI framework.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
But the research also touches on potential downsides, right? Like oversimplification, stereotyping.
Yeah, I can see that.
A really important point. While MBTI can foster community and understanding, there is that danger of boxing people into rigid categories.
Right.
Some critics even joke about the enthusiasm for it, comparing it to being a hardcore astrology fanatic.
Huh.
But despite valid critiques, it remains super popular, often lighthearted, a way to explore and express identity. You might see their MBTI type right there in their social media bio next to their hobbies.
And speaking of astrology, sounds like that's still in the picture, maybe not as dominant, but floating around, especially online.
Exactly. Western zodiac signs get referenced frequently, often playfully. And while the traditional Chinese zodiac exists, it's more of a Lunar New Year thing, or maybe for humorous comparisons. Social media often blends both astrology and MBTI for relatable content.
And beyond these more formal systems, they're also using general psych terms like introvert, extrovert.
Yes, those concepts are widely understood, discussed. They're also incorporating other online identity labels, even casual references to mental health terms. It suggests this growing, though maybe sometimes loosely applied, psychological self-awareness.
Huh. So when a Hong Kong teen introduces themselves, it might be this interesting mix. Age, MBTI, hobbies, favorite K-pop group, maybe zodiac sign, like a multifaceted identity badge.
Precisely. They're actively curating these identity markers, signaling who they are, often reflected right there in their social media profiles.
Right.
And this strong interest in self-discovery, you see it in their creative outlets too. Anonymous online journals, niche interest groups. These frameworks offer a sense of control, self-understanding, especially in that high-pressure environment.
It's fascinating how they're leveraging these tools to understand themselves, connect with others, find belonging beyond just grades. Now, let's talk about the ever-present companion of modern teenagers, their phones. What are their digital habits like?
They're true digital natives, constantly connected. Screen time is remarkably high, large majority exceeding recommended limits.
Wow.
These phones are their constant companions, from waking up till right before sleep.
I can just picture classrooms full of covert phone glances. It sounds like multitasking with devices is just standard, even during school.
It is, yeah. Despite school rules, many students find ways to text or check social media. And research shows they frequently multitask with phones, even during lectures. This constant digital stimulation has led some teachers to worry about, potentially shorter attention spans.
I bet. And when they're not in class, screen time really kicks into high gear. Homework, social media, entertainment, all happening at once.
Exactly. Multitasking is practically a way of life. Often have music or chats running in the background while trying to do assignments, blurs the lines between productivity and leisure.
Right.
And while they do sometimes use devices for legit study purposes, the constant notifications, the temptations, they're always there.
What platforms are they spending the most time on? WhatsApp seems huge for communication in Hong Kong.
WhatsApp definitely dominates for messaging. Individual chats, group conversations, all of it. Discord is popular for gaming communities, other interest-based servers. Instagram is primary for sharing personal life stuff. And Xiaohongshu, like we said, key for trends, reviews.
And YouTube, Netflix for entertainment.
Major players, yeah.
It's interesting that TikTok has a presence, but maybe isn't quite as dominant as in some other places, with Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts filling that niche.
That's right. And it's important to acknowledge the potential downsides of this hyperconnectivity, like digital fatigue, risk of phone dependence. They're so rarely truly disconnected in that dense urban environment.
Yeah. But it's not all negative, is it? Their digital literacy must come with advantages. Quick at finding info, using phones for self-learning, exploring hobbies.
Absolutely. They're adept at navigating information online, seamlessly switching between languages and digital interactions. Multitasking while studying, while sometimes distracting, is also kind of an accepted norm. Many use music or online tools to help focus, and their online social interactions provide crucial relaxation and support.
So their digital lives are complex. Incredible connection, potential distraction, a crucial piece of the puzzle. Now let's dive into something really unique, I think, how they blend languages.
Yes. This is where things get really interesting, in my opinion. Hong Kong ESL students fluidly switch between Cantonese and English, creating this unique code-switching mix, often called Kongish.
Kongish, right.
It's the defining characteristic of their linguistic landscape.
So Cantonese is their mother tongue, right?
Yeah.
The language for emotions, close relationships, but English is just everywhere. Education, pop culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Creates this natural bilingual environment. While English is essential for education, careers, Cantonese is often preferred for comfort, authenticity, and everyday chat among local students.
So purely English conversations outside of formal settings are kind of rare.
Relatively uncommon, yeah.
But the code switching is incredibly prevalent. Starting in Cantonese, flipping to English, back again. Sounds almost effortless.
It is for them, and it's not random. Often certain terms or concepts are just easier or quicker in one language.
Oh.
Sometimes it's for humor, emphasis, and this mixing extends to writing too, especially in formal digital chat. English internet slang just slots right into Cantonese messages.
That Kongish daily Facebook page sounded like it really captured that, legitimized this hybrid language as part of their identity.
It did. Initially, some might have dismissed it as just a fad, but it's really become a badge of identity. Reflects their unique bicultural reality. Practicality plays a role too. Some English words are just faster to type on a phone.
True. And how do they feel about it? Among peers, it sounds totally normal.
That's absolutely right. It's the linguistic norm in their social circles. But they're also very context aware. They'll switch to more standard English or Cantonese for school presentations, talking to teachers.
Right, they know when to switch it on or off.
Exactly. While some, maybe more traditional teachers or parents might disapprove, research shows these students are actually quite adept at compartmentalizing their language use effectively.
So outside school, where does English tend to show up more? Social media, pop culture seem obvious.
Absolutely. A lot of the memes, online content, is in English, or a mix. YouTube, Instagram constantly expose them to English. They readily adopt internet slang into Cantonese. Gaming is another big one. English often the default, even playing with local friends.
And maybe a student who's lived abroad or went to an international school would use more English naturally.
That's often the case. But even those with less exposure still sprinkle their language with English terms for modern concepts or just convenience. And it's fascinating how they sometimes infuse Cantonese grammar into English or vice versa, creating unique things like add oil.
Add oil, classic. It sounds like while they might feel more emotionally expressive in Cantonese, that constant English exposure through entertainment gives them a big informal vocabulary.
For sure.
And ultimately, it's not that they dislike English. It's more about finding their own comfortable, authentic way of using it.
Exactly. They see English as a useful tool, often genuinely enjoy English language media. Their code switching isn't a sign of lacking proficiency in either language.
No.
It's a reflection of their bilingual reality. It's actually a pretty sophisticated linguistic skill, choosing the right language for the context, even creating this vibrant new hybrid for their generation.
Wow, this has been a truly illuminating dive. We've covered so much ground. From the immense academic pressures, especially that HKDSE English exam,
Huge pressure.
to their incredibly vibrant social lives, shaped by fashion, food trends, their own unique Cantonese English slang.
We've also explored their deep connection with global pop culture, K-pop, anime, YouTube, streaming shows, and the fascinating ways they use tools like MBTI, even astrology, to explore identity.
Yeah, the self-discovery aspect. And of course, their constant digital connectivity, multitasking habits,
Yeah.
and that incredibly fluid, fascinating code switching.
Yeah. The overarching theme, really, is that these teenagers are navigating an incredibly complex world, skillfully balancing immense external pressures with this rich, dynamic cultural life.
Right.
And English is just a vital tool for them, for their future, their passions, even their everyday social interactions.
Right. So as you go about your day, I want you to take a moment to consider this. How do the intense pressures and pervasive cultural influences on these Hong Kong teens compare to, say, young people in other heavily globalized cities? What can we maybe learn from their remarkable resilience, their adaptability, facing constant change, and incredibly high expectations? It's definitely something to ponder.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the Eureka podcast.